Alrighty. Am I from NYC? Nope. Do I talk like I'm from New York? Game number 1 on Nightshade is the quarterfinals, so not quite to a qualification round yet. Right? Actually, that was true for the Europe bracket, but... Hold on. Hold on. I'm getting an update now. Oh yeah, it's top 2. Okay. I was right. So not quite to a qualification round yet, but pretty close to it. The winner of MaNa versus Lambo will face the winner of... Oh my good god, are you kidding me right now? Okay, well... Neeb Gung Fu faces Special, who faces Harstum, and then whoever wins that is going to face whoever wins this. So this side of the bracket is way farther ahead. First image was the Jaeger. Oh, was it? Confirm at 1K subs by the end of May, you'll get dreads. My mom would be very disappointed in me. I don't say that too often, but... 1,000 subs is impressive, but is it impressive enough to shave my head? I don't think so, guys. I mean, there was an Overwatch guy who shaved off his eyebrows for like 1,000 subs, so maybe I should stop being such a wuss. You telling me I spent all this money on my hair to turn it blonde and then I just let it get tangled into dreads? No. It's extra money. I don't want to go to a dread person. Adept in the main base, gonna get a drone? Wow, Lambo. Wow. Didn't even Sport Crawler cancel that? Try to say I'm walking here. I'm walking here. Now Maynard takes it right. Hey, yo, I'm walking here. I can't even say it. Here. Walking here. I like the Boston accent. Boston. Like all the O's. Or long O's. Talks Macan a lot. Imagine if that's how I actually talk like house, though. There's not too many examples I can think of commentators who have a strong American accent. You know, like a strong Boston, New Jersey, Southern, all that good stuff. Most of them are straight up Australian, straight up English, straight up from a different native language. Which doesn't count. Say bagel? That's how you say it, it's bagel. I've actually been watching Community finally. There is so many episodes of Community. I don't think it's as amazing as people seem to say it is, but it is pretty funny. It's really good just to have in the backgrounds. I hate how often they try and push the romance. Like, I actually hate it. Even when the romance ends up teaching them a lesson that they shouldn't be romantic, it's still like one of my least favorite episodes. Anyway. Dark Shrine of the way, MaNa does love this build. Denver had some words about it. Supporting my opinion on the build, that it's pretty good. If it was the most amazing build ever created, well, MaNa would be winning every PvZ, and he doesn't. So it's not the most amazing thing ever, but it's pretty good. Lambo actually taking a bit of a different approach than we saw Denver and then someone else, whoever MaNa was facing before that took, which is to get a lot of lings. Unfortunately, while probably expecting the Dark Shrine follow-up, he was a little bit late to the Squirrel Crawl in the front lines. He does protect it, though, which is really nice of him to do. He grabs the DT as well. That's nice. And the Squirrel Crawl in the main also going to be protected just in case. Yeah. Just need a little while longer. A little bit off in the timing there. Maybe just like a, oh shit, I forgot moment. But yeah, more Lings, trapping those Adepts in place. It's tricky because obviously Adepts have a wall up behind them. They get into a mineral line. There's just more than you thought there would be, and Lings don't cut it. But Lings can actually chase them and surround them and kill them in ways that Roaches really struggle to do. So I like the balance of units here a bit more for Lambo. And if he had all Spore Crawlers ready at the exact moment that they needed to be ready, this is a very easy cleanup. Got a little bit awkward, but still ended up not costing too much from Lambo. But again, even when we see the Zerg players say, I know what you're doing, I'm going to defend this, and then immediately attack, we do see the power of the defense back at home. Sentries and Immortals are being pumped out, even at the cost of, like, you know, a faster upgrade, because they're probably the most important units right now. So Lambo has the ability, but he's definitely not doing it. Lair, more Overlords, +1 starts for him. The Adepts actually have found nothing more to do. The Warp Prism died. How did I miss that? What happened? Where did that happen? Well, bad observing is bad. So that's bad. The DTs already weren't doing damage, but then if you lost an Archon or 2 Archons, that's pretty devastating. That's exactly what the Zerg player would want to have happen, but can't ever expect to happen. MaNa forced to rebuild it. Let's check it out. He lost 4 DTs, 1 around the 3rd, and then 3, I guess, in the DT, in the Warp Prism. Ah, well. He's not gonna die. No attack is on the way yet, but MaNa doesn't have a lot of harassment, whereas in a lot of the previous games where we've seen this Adept opener, it's because it just lasts forever. It's just always there. Just always there in your peripheral vision. You gotta always worry about it, but this was something that Lambo didn't have to worry about for like 2 minutes at this point. It's pretty powerful. ZombieGrub romance is dumb. But it is, though. Like, literally every time that they've been romantic, it's been... You know what's going to happen. They're going to say, no, we can't do this, and that's going to be it. I don't get it. In worst case, it goes back. At 5,000 subs, you know what? I would. Dreads would happen. Allison Brie is extremely hot. So the romance is accepted. No, the opposite. Like she's a pretty lady, and she can be pretty sexy, but in community, she's literally supposed to be like 19, 18 when the series starts. Whenever they put her and Jeff up together, I'm always like, because her personality is literally of someone who still isn't really mature. This one he had a Minnesota accent. He had an accent, but I don't think it was Minnesota. Some Southerners I know. Someone tried to accuse me of having a bad Southern accent for someone who lives in Virginia, and I told him clearly he doesn't live in Virginia because no one has a Southern accent here. We haven't been Southern for a while. Now this is a big attack, so lots of time spent just building up, but time spent where Lambo was not being harassed. Neither was MaNa, to be fair, but he really wanted to cut Lambo's attack a little bit more than he did. Baneling drops in the natural, kill 12 probes, while a couple of Adepts get just 4, maybe 5. Not quite comparable, but much more important. Can MaNa hold? Can MaNa hold? Gateway's providing a wall on the right side. It's actually quite helpful. Only has to worry about this force fieldable area for now. And then later he'll have to worry about that. But that's still 1 or 2 more warpings. That's an upgrade finishing. Pretty important stuff. The walls have been broken. Lambo thinking about going in. He's maxed out on Ling, Baneling, Ravager. Gonna have +2 attack on his missile in about 15 seconds. MaNa feeling a little more confident with more and more warp-ins. He's got a Warp Prism to help out as well. Baneling's gonna tank the Banelings. Archon's gonna tank the Banelings. I said what I said. And actually, there's not much here that the Banelings were especially good against. There weren't a lot of Zealots. The sentries weren't plentiful, and they were also protected by the Archons. Some nice control on both sides for MaNa, left and right. Or Lambo, I mean, for Zerg, it is a little bit more just posturing and then pressing the go button. But MaNa did a good job handling that engagement. Keeps a lot of his Archons alive, a lot of his Immortals alive, and now can fill with fodder, but Lambo is replacing the Banelings, so he's got to be careful. Could be surrounded. Can't rely too much on Zealots just being warped in. Big old Ling attack, and they do have that +1 melee into the third base. Cannon goes down instantly. A bit of a distraction as well, but MaNa with the last second splits against the Corrosive Bile. Trying his best to hold on while losing his probes. He's turning more and more all in. He has a fourth base on the way, but his probes are dying. Good splits away from those Banelings. They hit Archons, and not too many of them at bats. Really nice hit by MaNa, but down 100 supply. Lambo just has too much. Was remaxing too damn fast. And MaNa cannot compare. GG. Already into game number 2. Lickety split. In the top right, bopping Protoss left and right. It is the blue Zerg Lambo. In the bottom left is the red Protoss. It is MaNa. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not so easy. I think half the money from each paid sub makes 5,000 sound a little bit less cool. And on top of that, they account for gifted subs and Twitch Prime subs. The idea is to get a solid number of actual tier 1 repeating subs. Twitch secrets that you're not supposed to talk about, but people talk about all the time. I actually thought you weren't supposed to show how many subs you, how much money you get, but apparently that's not true. Or people who show it don't get reprimanded. What will I do at 1K subs? What will I do for 1K subs, you guys? Cosplay, that's what I would do. I would cosplay. Jill Valentine cosplay? I feel like you guys would be extremely disappointed in what I had to offer for that. Or, not Jill. What's her face? Claire! Claire! There we go. Claire cosplay. Oh, I was thinking like Clara Barnes. I'm pretty sure is the chick from Back to the Future 3. Anyways. Probably smile and say thanks. That's me. Now hold on, I almost always drink. Has to dye his hair pink. It's expensive, and I don't want to do it myself. I don't want to ruin my hair. People already have shorter hair. It's so easy. Ling gets into the main base and sees the Twilight Council. Well, sees the Robo building. Twilight Council also seen. There you go. That's nice. Dyeing your dark hair pink is gonna cost a pretty penny for sale. First you gotta bleach it, then you gotta bleach it, and then you gotta tone it. You know, people talk a lot about superiority complexes and many different factors of life. Elitism, wine, champagne, food, songs, Starcraft. You know who the true elitists are? The true judgers of humanity? People who dye their own hair. It's not that hard. You don't need that by a professional. Seriously though. It's just hair. If you mess it up, it's fine. Sweating. That's right, man. I'm calling some of you out. Cosplay fame Starcraft 2 caster ZombieGrub. Ooh, I could do that. Kerrigan cosplay, I'd be like the Dwight cosplay. It is the same build as last game. MaNa, though, not gonna lose the Warp Prism this time. I bet that's his plan. Don't lose Warp Prism. He has like a little checklist. Build Adepts, don't lose Warp Prism. That's Lambo also has a checklist. Don't die to Adepts. Build Spore Crawlers on time. And he might just go ahead and deal with us even better than last game. MaNa has the Adepts ready to go into the main base or shade outs. They shaded out. And the Warp Prism does not find any success over here. He does warp in the DT. He's out of range of the would-be Spore Crawler. It is done now. He picks them up, but this time don't lose the Warp Prism. Third base on the way, protected by the Adepts. Lambo did show an awful lot of units, and considering how well he's denied the Adepts and probably going to deny the DTs, of which he's already done, sending those Lings over to attack him, well, MaNa probably was in the right to send his Adepts back home. Forge on the way. Lambo continuing with his creep spread and dominate the map. And finally getting the lair. Donnie Vermillion. I have to talk in Donnie Vermillion voice, though. I have to be really hyperbolic and maybe a little bit sexist. Could be fun. Oh, I love Donnie. Your friend's in bad taste. +1 under fire, but an overseer is on the way. I don't... Wow, the DTs will kill it. They will. They absolutely will. This just in, guys. 2 DTs kill an evolution chamber in the time it takes to build an overseer. And then we're going to be denied +1 for 20-30 seconds. That's a nice snipe. So called out. Yeah. I'm looking at you. Roach Baneling on the way for Lambo. Very successful attack last game. As I said, making it look easy. But I do feel like some of that had to do with just Lambo not being pressured. I mean, MaNa did not get any chance to do anything. Once his Warp Prism died, he had to be afraid of Lambo immediately coming over to attack him, and then had to be afraid of Lambo eventually coming over to attack him. And while I think his initial defense was quite good, the attack probably was not called for. Hindsight 2020. You know, Starcraft's a hard game. Terran Medic cosplay? Oh, that could be fun. Because I'd have to speak in the Terran Medic voice. Now, I don't know how long I can be sexy without laughing. Because I'm not sexy, but I have had practice with the medic voice thanks to Rainer Party. Where does it hurt? Ooh, sounds serious. I forget all our other lines right now. I'm gonna look them up. Broodwar medic sounds. Some of you in chat might be thinking, wow, this is the worst commentary ever. But some of you know what true commentary is. Entertaining the masses. Medic lines. I should look up medic lines. Alright, so Lambo on the way to a hive actually, finishing up his +1 centrifugal hooks. MaNa going for Storm +2, and perhaps a 4th base soon. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Look at that. There's your every 10-minute update on this game. Team medic quotations. There we are. There it is. Valkyrie prepared. I lost it. There it is. Prepped and ready. Oh, we're about to have an attack. I'll do it later. Gateway's once again walling off. This actually can turn awkward for some Protoss engagements, but for now it seems to be doing MaNa a lot of favors. He did get to Storm this game and already has plenty to work with. And has a damn decent good number of Immortals, so the mass Archons of last game exchanged for a lot more Storms. And the actual presence of Storms. Also, pretty big delay in that charge. Only halfway done right now. But not extremely necessary as he's totally defensive. And he's more so on the Storms than the Immortals. Greater Spires on the way, though, as Lambo perhaps reading in to what MaNa's doing. MaNa's not going to go for an attack. MaNa's not going to be bustable with Storms coming down left, right, and center. Let's go for a Greater Spire and hope that MaNa does not have the preparation for it. MaNa's going to try and up the aggression at least a little bit here. Go for some Warp Prism harassment. But he really needs to get a scout on the hive potential. Ooh, sounds serious. Oh my god. That actually physically pained me. Ooh. Well, if I'm doing sexy actually correctly, then I'm not supposed to be entertaining. And so the sexy part would come in. A little bit scary, you're on a creep like that, but MaNa is prepared to attack. Has he scouted the presence of a hive? No, he has not, but he might be figuring it's on the way because Lambo didn't attack him. Just because Lambo didn't attack him doesn't mean that he's not maxed out, however, and MaNa has to be very careful. His army is really chunky, okay? It's going to cost a lot of Banelings to actually bite through every single unit here. But it is possible with this round. Banelings, Corrosive Bile. You don't move out of the way, you're in trouble no matter what you have. Even Mass Archon. But still plenty of Storms left over. A couple of Force Fields as well. Link available too. Looking for the Storms. Looking for the Storms. But you find Brood Lords instead. 2 Brood Lords. Oh, pick up! Ooh, he picked up. Does he have any more Storms? He does indeed. Couple more coming through here. Gotta save that last one. Saves 2 of the High Templars. Tears down the 4th base. 5th base, whichever one. Lambo actually right now supply block. That's a little bit awkward. He has plenty of minerals and gas to work with to remax. MaNa still working up to a bank. Trying to get remax, but pretty close to it. He saved a lot of those expensive units. Still has a lot of Stalkers left over and still has at least 1 or 2 Storms. 2 Storms to be exact. Might turn them into Archons afterwards. Lambo having to retreat. He's going to lose another base and 16 drones as well into a couple of Zealots in the natural. MaNa with actually a really powerful punch before Lambo would get to Broodlords, and Lambo unable to find the proper positioning to take a good fight. And now as he's lost his 4th and 5th, he's actually facing more chokes than ever, which should result in even worse fights for a Zerg player. Another storm came through. Banelings were not affected by it, but they're tackling lots of units that are actually effective against them. Oh, but more Banelings are on the way. Banelings are always effective. What am I saying? Another blink at the last second there from MaNa. He's trying to also spread a little bit as well. Still a lot of Roaches and Ravages left over. The War Prism's still alive. Drones still going down on the rally as Lambo is running out of minerals and gas. He's not able to remax fast enough. Despite having a bank, that is always an awful feeling. He has not been able to take out that War Prism. I think that would be an entirely different story if he had done that 30 seconds ago. Lots of Stalkers very, very low. Can he get the War Prism? No, he's enough Corrosive Bios. 2 Immortals still alive as well. And Lambo down to 52 supply to 113. That's it. GG. Hey. Ziggy's starting to go crazy. I haven't played with him in 10 hours. What are the lines? I was mostly looking for her lines that, whoops. Mostly looking for her lines that's the special ones. Okay, so it's need medical attention. Did someone impage me? State the nature of your medical emergency. Where does it hurt? The fact that they have flirting voice in parentheses for only some of the medic's lines is a lie. All of her lines are flirtatious. All tied up in game number 3, 1-1, semifinals. Whoever wins this moves on to a qualification match. But isn't quite there yet. Bottom left, it is Lambo. Top right, it is MaNa. What are her repeatedly selected quotes? I've already checked you out, Commander. You want another physical? Turn your head and cough. Ready for your sponge bath? How is that not a flirting voice? Clear. Zap. He's dead, Jim. And the infamous her death sound. Wonder how many takes it took to get the medic voice death sound. As much as we make fun of it, I really want to give some props to the voice actress. That's a classy glass. Thank you. I got it from a antiques dealer who deals in like old 50s bartender stuff. You're pretty cool. My mom and I went antiquing. Maynard with the 5 gifted subs. 5 more gifted subs. I love you, SO. I love you too, Maynard. That's actually how I read ILU. Is someone saying I love you in the most lazy way possible. If you got a sub, make sure to show some sub love. Borsty asked me if I'm going to do the entire 5 hours of the NA broadcast. I'm going to say, if there's not a series immediately after this one, I'll probably end it. If there is, we'll keep going. But I didn't plan on casting all of it. We're kind of getting close to it. Unintentionally, but I couldn't stop the hype train, you guys. I couldn't. She sounds more flirty? She sounds more flirty, but she never not sounds flirty. Oh yeah, I read the quotations directly from Totally Factual, starcraft.fandom.com. Turn your head and cough. One time when I was younger, guys, and this really set me on the path of using my voice as a career. When I was younger, I got a phone call from a random stranger, and at that point, spoof calls weren't that common, so I thought someone was actually calling me on my slide phone. Anyone remember those? Anyone remember those? That's good. That's good. I was like 14 or something, and he was like, "Hey, is Terry there?" And I was like, no, I think you have the wrong number." And he was like, oh, sorry. Well, you have like a really cute voice, but yeah, sorry about that. Okay, bye. And truly, that's probably what started my long career in using my voice to get paid. My friends would also say that I have an excellent phone sex voice, but trust me, I never did that to get paid. Maybe I should have, but I did not. Yeah, the ghost death sound, that's also pretty blood curdling. Water about to fall on their toe. If that's how that lady sounds when she gets her toe stubbed, that's a little weird. Alright. The MaNa's getting a third base, but what is all of this? Well, look at that. Look at this over here. Proxying anything against a Zerg player as the game goes on is increasingly more dangerous, because you would assume more overlords are out. It's kind of true. Sometimes not. If a Phoenix is out, they might want to actually tuck all their overlords in their own base. And well, a Phoenix wasn't made in this game. It was a Stargate opener. One Oracle actually dies, but we are so much more focused on the fact that MaNa has a lot of gateways finishing up with Resident Enclaves. That third Nexus basically a lie. He's hoping Lambo saw that and some probes mining it, because it's not true. He is purposely not saturated his natural entirely. No gas is necessary here. So he can look like he's at maybe 52, 53 probes, but it is a lie. Lambo, though, he's a smart cookie. Something tipped him off here. He perhaps didn't see the gases, because 330 gases is usually what you do. 330 or 4-minute gases is what you do with a Stargate opener. So for him not to see gases whenever that Overlord did die, whenever that Ling checked it, I don't know what happened, it was probably a big tell. He only just now saw exactly what it was. Is it too late? It seems to be okay so far. 12 more roaches in production, about to pop out. And the Adepts still haven't gotten too much done. It gets worse from here usually. This is not in combination with a Robo. MaNa was certainly expecting, he was hoping for more of a surprise than it ended up being. Oracle not even getting a stasis trap. Drone somehow escaping the clutches of the Adepts by just tucking themselves into a corner. Only one more dies on the micro back to the natural. And while there's so many Adepts every which way, Lambo was actually already prepping for this. He already had roaches and just simply made more roaches and then actually kind of split them. And MaNa didn't have as many options to kerfuffle him without that Warp Prism. MaNa, I appreciate the big surprise, man. It was a cool idea, but Lambo was already on top of it. Now, MaNa's not going to give up because he is on 3 bases. He did continue probing once he realized this was not maybe going to work. I'm not sure when he continued to, but he went from, like, what was it, 47 up to 61 pretty quickly. And he is getting all of his gases and making up for lost time. Also preparing a Void Ray because he can only Chrono Boost Immortals that often. Actually, with double Robo, I'm really surprised he gets a Void Ray. It won't be killed by roaches, that's for sure, or Immortals could be, but maybe eventually going to start that double Robo production. It would not be the wisest thing to do, perhaps, in this game, however, just because the Spire is on the way. MaNa, having done the Adept attack, doesn't have a lot of sentries, and that means a lot of Hallucinated Phoenix. So, no double Phoenix to scout the existence of a Spire. MaNa could be totally blindsided by this. Oh, just phone sex for free. It's like in Parks and Rec when Leslie is like, "Are you willing to do something that a prostitute would do?" And Anne looks at her and she's like, "But without the money." And she's like, yes, okay. Notices your oh my god, Ragnarok Head, can you not turn all pro gamers into neckbeards messaging cute women on the internet? Could you not? Depowers the gateways, kills the gateway. Mute is on the way, much more important. MaNa, I mean, it's been a decent amount of time. He's been on 3 bases, he's going up to 4. He has the ability, certainly, to warp in enough units not to just immediately die to mutas, but without cannons in the natural and mineral line, he's gonna lose a decent amount of probes. But the game should continue on. MaNa in that dangerous part where he does not have a lot of supply, but he's close to getting that explosion, I would say. To getting enough supply. And Lambo is not fully maxed out, nor is he maxed out fully on roaches. He's got those mutas to account for, which are, for now, harassment units, until they get to higher numbers and more upgrades. Good split so far from MaNa, taking advantage of the chokes on Eternal Empire. This map can create long games because of the size of it. They can also create long games because defensively it can be used well. It's not the easiest map to get to 4 bases on, but it can be. Might have made a mistake now, though. Stalkers came to deal with the mutas, which already killed 8 probes, but no more sentries to stop the incoming roach force, and I think MaNa needed another 2 warp-ins to really start feeling comfortable. The mutas actually taking out the immortals. They're popping their shields, taking out the sentries, and the stalkers on the high ground. Useless until that blink just finished. But they're supposed to be protecting the immortals, not derping on the high ground. Another warp-in does come in. Void Ray still going strong against the immortals as well, but the stalker count getting a little bit low as the mutas take them out one by one. Even if not very high numbers, the mutas just kept finding vulnerable units and making them even more vulnerable. As I said, if MaNa had a couple more warp-ins, if he had 2 more warp-ins, so 45 more seconds, I don't know. I think it's actually really holdable by MaNa, but not able to buy more time with force fields. The muta is really starting to add into the confusion. MaNa has lost this game. He's lost control over his 3rd and his 4th. Doesn't have the army to combat this, even try for a base race. One would say a bit deserved. His proxy shenanigans did not work out, but if he had played a perfect game from then on out, I think there's a chance. But he didn't. MaNa's gonna have to fight the rest of the way to the lower bracket, which he is much closer than other people, but Lambo, feeling confident against the Protoss, now has to wait in the upper bracket because this was so far ahead of the other side. Neve and Gung Fu took an hour for the first game.